Alright, Scorpio, I just pulled some cards for you, and honestly, what came through is really interesting. The energy around this situation where someone is finally realizing their feelings for you is pretty complex. So let me walk you through what the cards are showing me. So I shuffled the deck and asked about this whole situation with someone coming to terms with how they feel about you. The cards that appeared are really telling a specific story here. Let me share what I'm seeing. The first card that came out is the Hierophant. Now this is fascinating because the Hierophant represents tradition, conventional thinking, and established systems. What I'm getting here is that this person has been operating from a very rigid mindset when it comes to you. They've had all these rules in their head about what they should want, what makes sense, what other people would think. The Hierophant energy suggests they've been trying to fit their feelings into some kind of box that society or their family or their own past experiences told them was the right box. But here's the thing, Scorpio. Feelings don't really work that way. You can't force genuine emotion into a predetermined structure. This person has been fighting against what they actually feel because it doesn't match up with their idea of what they thought they wanted or what they believed was acceptable. There's been this internal battle where their heart is saying one thing, but their mind has been saying something completely different based on these old patterns and beliefs. The Hierophant can represent someone who seeks approval or validation from external sources before they trust their own feelings. So this person might have been asking friends for advice, or comparing you to some checklist they had, or worrying about what their family would say. All of that external noise has been drowning out what their heart has been trying to tell them this whole time. The realization that's happening now is that all those rules and structures they've been clinging to are actually preventing them from connecting with something real and meaningful. They're starting to understand that genuine connection doesn't always follow a prescribed path. Sometimes the person who lights up your world doesn't look like what you imagined, doesn't fit the timeline you had planned, doesn't check all the boxes you thought mattered, and that's what's shifting for them right now. The next card that appeared is Two of Swords. Oh, Scorpio, this card is so significant here. Two of Swords represents being at a crossroads, having to make a decision, being stuck between two choices. But notice in the traditional imagery of this card, there's a blindfold involved. This person has been deliberately blocking out the truth. They've been in denial about how they feel about you. The Two of Swords suggests they've been trying to maintain some kind of false equilibrium by refusing to look at the reality of the situation. Maybe they've been telling themselves you're just a friend, or that what they feel isn't that deep, or that they have other options they should explore. They've been sitting in this uncomfortable middle ground where they know something is there, but they haven't wanted to acknowledge it. Part of this is fear. The sword suit deals with the mental realm, with thoughts and communication, and this person has been overthinking everything to the point of paralysis. They've been weighing pros and cons, making lists in their head, trying to logic their way through something that can't really be understood through logic alone. The Two of Swords appearing here tells me that they're finally reaching a breaking point with this indecision. You can't sit on the fence forever, and the blindfold is starting to come off. What's happening now is they're beginning to realize that by trying to protect themselves from making the wrong choice, they've actually been making a choice anyway. The choice to do nothing. And that's starting to feel more painful than the risk of being honest about what they want. The truth they've been avoiding is becoming impossible to ignore. The Chariot came out next, and this card brings such powerful forward momentum energy. The Chariot is about determination, willpower, and actually moving in a direction after a period of stagnation. After all that mental back and forth represented by the Two of Swords, the Chariot shows this person is going to take action. They're harnessing their courage and their clarity to actually do something about these feelings they've been discovering. What I find really interesting about the Chariot in this position is that it requires mastery and control. This isn't someone who's going to just blurt out their feelings in a messy, impulsive way. The Chariot suggests they're going to gather themselves, figure out what they want to say, and approach you with intention. They're taking the reins of the situation instead of letting circumstances or other people dictate what happens. The Chariot can also represent a journey, and in this context, I'm seeing it as the journey from confusion to clarity, from fear to confidence. This person is actively working through their resistance and their doubts. They're pushing past the obstacles that have been holding them back. The Chariot requires balancing opposing forces, those two sphinxes pulling in different directions. And what that tells me is this person is learning to balance their head and their heart, their fears and their desires, what they think they should do versus what they actually want to do. And they're finding a way to move forward that honors both their need for certainty and their need for authentic connection. Now, Five of Wands appeared, and this card is all about conflict, competition, and chaos. What this is showing me is that there has been a lot of external interference and internal struggle around this situation. Five of Wands often represents multiple people or multiple desires all vying for attention at the same time. So, this person might have been dealing with other romantic interests, or other people's opinions, or just a lot of competing priorities in their life that made it hard to focus on what they really feel for you. There's been this sense of everything being kind of messy and complicated. The Five of Wands can also represent the internal conflict I mentioned earlier, where different parts of themselves have been fighting for dominance. Their logical mind versus their emotional heart. Their desire for safety versus their desire for passion. Their fear of getting hurt versus their hope for something real. All of these different aspects have been in this chaotic struggle, and it's been exhausting for them. What's shifting now is that this person is starting to see that all this conflict and complication isn't actually external. It's something they've been creating by refusing to be honest with themselves and with you. The Five of Wands can indicate a period of struggle before things become clear, and that's exactly what's been happening. They've had to fight through all these competing voices and influences to get to the simple truth underneath it all, and that truth is breaking through now. Six of Cups came through next, and this card really adds an interesting layer to this reading. Six of Cups is often about nostalgia, childhood, innocence, and past connections. What I'm sensing here is that there's a history between you two, or at least this person associates you with feelings of comfort and familiarity. Six of Cups can indicate someone realizing that what they've been searching for has actually been right in front of them all along. Maybe you've known each other for a while, or there's something about the way you make them feel that reminds them of a simpler, happier time in their life. This card brings a sweetness and a purity to the reading. Underneath all the complications and conflicts, what this person is discovering is that being around you feels like coming home. There's an ease and a natural quality to your connection that they haven't found elsewhere. Six of Cups can also suggest that this person is reconnecting with a more innocent, open-hearted version of themselves through their feelings for you. They've been so caught up in adult concerns and complications, trying to be strategic and careful and protected, but what's emerging now is a more genuine, vulnerable way of feeling. They're remembering what it's like to just like someone without all the layers of defense and calculation. The Six of Cups indicates that these feelings have been there longer than they've been willing to admit, possibly buried or dismissed, but now they're coming to the surface with this gentle but undeniable insistence. The Nine of Pentacles appeared, and this card is fascinating in this context. Nine of Pentacles represents independence, self-sufficiency, and enjoying the fruits of your own labor. What this tells me is that this person has been very focused on their own life, their own achievements, their own sense of stability and success. They've built something for themselves, and they've been enjoying that independence. Part of why they've been resistant to acknowledging their feelings for you is because they've been comfortable in their solo journey. The Nine of Pentacles can indicate someone who has everything they think they need and is hesitant to let someone else into that carefully constructed world. But here's what's shifting. They're realizing that all the success and stability in the world doesn't mean much if you don't have someone meaningful to share it with. The Nine of Pentacles can represent reaching a level of maturity where you understand that true abundance includes emotional connection, not just material comfort. This person is recognizing that their life, as nice as it is, has been missing something. Missing you. They're at a point where they're actually ready for partnership, where they have enough confidence in themselves to be vulnerable with another person. The Nine of Pentacles suggests they're coming to you from a place of wholeness rather than neediness, which is actually really beautiful. They're not looking for you to complete them or fix them. They're looking to share the good life they've created with someone who enhances it. Page of Cups came through, and I actually love seeing this card in a reading about someone realizing their feelings. The Page of Cups is the messenger of emotions, the arrival of new romantic feelings, the beginning of emotional expression. This card is literally showing me that a message is coming your way, Scorpio. this person is going to communicate their feelings to you. The page energy is youthful, sincere, and a bit tentative. They might not have all the smooth words or the perfect approach, but what they will have is genuine emotion. Pages represent new beginnings in their suit, and the suit of cups is all about feelings and relationships, so this is the beginning of a new emotional chapter between you two. The Page of Cups often appears when someone is learning to express vulnerable feelings, when they're opening up in ways that feel new or unfamiliar to them. This person might feel a bit awkward or uncertain about how to convey what they're feeling, but that sincerity is part of what will make it meaningful. The Page of Cups can also indicate creative expression of feelings, so don't be surprised if they find some thoughtful or unique way to let you know how they feel. This card brings a freshness and a hopefulness to the reading. After all the complications and resistance, what's emerging is something simple and pure, genuine affection that wants to be expressed and received. Queen of Wands appeared next, and this card is bringing such confident, vibrant energy to this reading. The Queen of Wands is magnetic, self-assured, passionate, and charismatic. What I'm seeing here is that this is actually how this person sees you, Scorpio. You embody this Queen of Wands energy in their eyes. You're someone who knows who you are, who moves through the world with purpose and authenticity, who has this natural magnetism that draws people in. The Queen of Wands is independent and doesn't chase or beg for attention, and that quality in you has been both attractive and intimidating to this person. They've been watching you live your life with confidence and passion, and it's made them question whether they measure up, whether they have something to offer someone like you. The Queen of Wands is also fiery and straightforward, and I'm getting that part of what's pushing this person toward honesty is that they know you don't have time for games or half-truths. You value directness and authenticity, and they're realizing that if they want any chance with you, they need to be real about what they feel. The Queen of Wands can also represent a catalyst, and that's what you've been for this person. Your energy, your presence, your way of being in the world has sparked something in them that they can't ignore anymore. You've challenged them without even trying to, simply by being yourself. The High Priestess came through, and this card brings such depth and mystery to this reading. The High Priestess represents intuition, hidden knowledge, and the unconscious mind. What this is telling me is that on some level, both of you have known about this connection all along. There's been this unspoken awareness, this energetic understanding that exists beneath the surface of whatever your actual interactions have been. The High Priestess suggests that feelings have been developing in the realm of intuition and the subconscious before making their way to conscious awareness. This person has been having dreams about you, or finding themselves thinking about you at random times, or feeling your energy even when you're not physically present. The High Priestess guards the threshold between the conscious and unconscious, and what's happening now is that what was hidden is coming to light. Secrets are being revealed, but they're internal secrets, things this person has been keeping even from themselves. The High Priestess can also indicate that you, Scorpio, have already sensed something about this situation. Your intuition has probably been picking up on the energy shifts, the unspoken tension, the possibility hanging in the air. The High Priestess encourages trusting that inner knowing. If you felt like something was there, you weren't wrong. This card confirms that there are deeper currents moving beneath the surface of what's visible, and those currents are bringing truth to light. The final card that appeared is King of Pentacles, and this brings such solid, grounded energy to close out this reading. The King of Pentacles represents stability, reliability, commitment, and building something lasting. What this tells me is that as this person comes to terms with their feelings for you, they're not approaching this as a casual thing or a flight of fancy. The King of Pentacles is serious about what he wants and is willing to put in the work to build something real. This person is thinking about actual partnership, about what a future with you could look like in practical terms. They're considering how you fit into their life and how they fit into yours in tangible, everyday ways. The King of Pentacles brings a maturity to relationships, an understanding that love isn't just about butterflies and romance. It's about showing up consistently, about being someone dependable, about creating security together. This card suggests that this person has resources, whether that's emotional stability, financial security, or just life experience. And they're ready to invest those resources in building something with you. The King of Pentacles is the culmination of the Pentacles suit, representing mastery in the material world. And in this context, it shows me that this person has done their own work. They've built their own life, and now they're ready to share that with someone who matches their level of commitment and intention. They're not coming to you with empty promises or vague maybes. When they express their feelings, there will be substance behind it. So Scorpio, here's what all these cards are telling me together. Someone in your sphere has been going through this intense internal process of realization. They started from a place of rigid thinking and denial, represented by the Hierophant and Two of Swords. They've been battling with themselves and with external influences, shown by Five of Wands, but something has shifted. The Chariot shows them moving forward with determination. Six of Cups reveals that what they're discovering is actually feelings that have been there all along, just waiting to be acknowledged. Nine of Pentacles tells me they're in a good place in their life and ready to share that abundance. Page of Cups promises that communication is coming. Queen of Wands reflects how they see your magnetic, confident energy. The High Priestess confirms that there's been an intuitive, unspoken awareness of this connection. And King of Pentacles assures that they're approaching this with serious, committed intentions. Everything is coming to light for this person. The truth they've been avoiding is becoming impossible to ignore. They're realizing that their feelings for you are real and significant, and that all the reasons they had for not acknowledging those feelings don't actually hold up under scrutiny. They're seeing you clearly for the first time, or maybe they're seeing clearly for the first time how much you actually mean to them, and they're preparing to do something about it. The cards are showing a journey from confusion to clarity, from resistance to acceptance, from fear to courage. This person is moving toward honesty, both with themselves and with you. Can you feel that shift in the energy between you? Have you noticed any changes in how they act around you? Maybe more attention, more interest, more vulnerability. Trust what you're picking up on, Scorpio. The High Priestess says your intuition is accurate here. This is such a powerful reading because it shows genuine transformation happening in real time. This isn't about someone playing games or being wishy-washy. This is about someone who has been genuinely struggling with their own blocks and barriers, and who is finally breaking through to truth. The combination of cards suggests that when they do come to you, it's going to be with sincerity and substance. They're not going to half-step or be vague. They're going to be real with you about what they feel and what they want. I hope this gives you some clarity about what's happening beneath the surface of this situation. The universe is definitely orchestrating something here, bringing truth to light in a way that can't be denied anymore. Stay open to what's unfolding, but also stay true to yourself and your standards. You're the Queen of Wands in this scenario, remember that. You don't have to chase or convince or wait around forever. When someone realizes your value and comes to you with genuine intention, that's when you can decide if it aligns with what you want. Trust your instincts, trust the timing, and trust that what's meant for you won't pass you by.